Hello, beautiful people out there. Welcome to Legal Awareness, Nigerians' first online law talk show mapped solely for the purpose of educating and enlightening the masses of the duties, obligations, as well as the rights under the law. I am your anchor, Precious Toju Okusandria. Now, by popular demand, this August we'll be looking at domestic violence, how it happens, why it happens, the way out of it, and its consequences under the law. If you ask an average man on the street what domestic violence is, he or she may have a rough idea. That is to suggest that domestic violence is not new or alien to us. Domestic violence is as old as history itself. It's a practice that has been on in our society, our communities, even in our environment, in our families, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world. I've heard a lot of people say that domestic violence is on the increase in recent times, unlike in the olden days. Permit me to say that that statement may not be 100% true, on grounds that the level of the increase of education, especially of the girl child nowadays, is on the increase. There's a lot of sensitization by government agencies, foundations, public awareness by NGOs. And a lot of people have begun to know the right from left. A lot of people are very bold nowadays. A lot of people are coming out to speak about a lot of things that happens to them, even in an intimate relationship. Unlike in the olden days, women and other people were taught by the society, the culture, communities, that whatever happens in the marriage stays in the marriage. And in fact, it was a taboo to talk about anything that happens in your home to an outsider or a third party. So that may, in a way, make it look as if domestic violence is on the increase in our recent times, especially with the introduction or invention of the social media. A lot of people are coming online to tell the public how they've been violated one way or the other. So it seems like in recent times, domestic violence is on the increase. Rather, in the olden days, domestic violence happened almost on a daily basis. Now, the word violence in law is a criminal offense. And by criminal offense, we mean that it's not just a crime committed against the victim, is also a crime committed against the state as a whole. If, for example, a lady is being raped, it's not just that lady that is a victim of the rape scenario. It means that whoever raped her has also raped the state as a whole. And so that's why any violence is a criminal offense. Now, we have different types of violence. We have physical violence, which may include kicking, flogging, slapping, punching, shaking, battering, acid breath. We have psychological, emotional, or mental violence. And this is a situation where you demean a person, make mockery of the person, make expensive jokes at the person. You tend to play on the person's emotions. So that could be said that you've violated the person physically, psychologically, emotionally, or mentally. We also have what is called financial or economic violence, situation where you refuse to provide for your family, maintenance, upkeep, welfare, and it's not that you do not have the ability. You do have the ability, the means, but you purposely refuse to provide for your family. That could be called economic or financial violence. We also have what is called socio-economic violence, where you deprive your partner from working or having any means of livelihood so that he or she may be totally dependent on you. We also have what is called social violence, where you deprive a person from having any connection with the society. You just want to seclude the person from interaction, from visiting families or friends, or even friends and family coming to visit the person. That is also social violence, where you continuously monitor, you check your partner's emails, phone calls. You don't allow the person interact with other people, practically putting the person under duress. That also can be referred to as social violence. We also have what is called sexual violence, incest, rape, sexual harassment, even the use of the word slut, whore, or bitch. Those or you touch a person in the way that the person is uncomfortable with it, or you touch the person in the way that it suggests you want to, you're making inappropriate advances at the person. That also could be termed as sexual violence. So now, what is domestic violence? Domestic violence in law simply means a pattern of coercive factors perpetrated against a victim for the main purpose of establishing and maintaining power and control over an intimate partner. And it is domestic because it is done in a familiar, close, intimate relationships, such as husband and wife, or living in lovers or ex-lovers, teen relationship, people that are dating, even in homosexual relationship. It is domestic in the sense that it can be domestic in the sense that it can only happen in a close, familiar, intimate relationship. So in one word, domestic violence is when you physically, psychologically, emotionally, mentally, socially, or sexually abuse an intimate partner. Now, domestic violence could include all of this that we have mentioned, or one of it, whether it's psychological, whether it's physical, whether it's sexual, whether it's social. As long as it's done to an intimate partner in a relationship, that is domestic violence. It could include all, it could be one, it could be three, it could be all of it. Now, the essence of domestic violence is for the person, the perpetrator, to establish and maintain ultimate power and control over his or her victim. And it's not just when somebody gets angry at the time or is a little bit out of control. No, it is a conscious, continuous effort that the person makes, the perpetrator makes, to gain control and power over his or her victim. That is when the person can be said to be domestically violated in an intimate, familiar, or close relationship. Now, that's all we can take on today's episode. Please watch out for our next episode, still on domestic violence. Like our Facebook page, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Precious Ukosandria Law TV. Kindly share and like this video. Somebody you least expect might need it. And please let your comments and your suggestions keep rolling in, even your criticisms. You're the reason we're setting up this program in the first place. And we thank you for your time. We thank you for taking out your time to watch this video. We thank you for your comments. We thank you for your contributions. You are highly appreciated. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.